Fantastic.
Good morning, everyone, to Market Insights. This is Landmark Title's monthly market stats and inside look into your Phoenix and Arizona real estate market. I am joined by the stats expert, Scott Kiburz, Vice ARMLS Chair. He pulls these stats, but then he tells us what's really going on and how these stats in our market are going to affect your real estate business, and how knowing these stats and what's going on benefit you and your clients. So there's some big things coming up on the horizon for real estate here in the Valley. So Scott, let's take it away.
Good morning, everybody. And I hope this is a powerful exchange today. Again, if you have a question or anything like that, fire it right into the chat. We'll try to do our best to incorporate it. Sarah, go ahead. Our first slide really is around what I call fast facts. If you stopped after this slide and moved on, what's happened in our market as we speak. This was the 1st of August on a Sunday. We had 7,081 listings in ARMLS, and we had 5,570 active listings in Maricopa County only. So there's a phrase, we've used it many times now: statistics don't lie and liars use statistics. What I wanted to illustrate, that 1,500 difference of listings, some of that, of course, is in Pinal County, and some of that's in the White Mountains in Utah and Mexico. And so given a choice, I like to slice the data with Maricopa County only. Maricopa County makes up about 10% of our land mass for the state of Arizona, yet it accounts for north of 78% of our annual sales in our state. So I hope I'm not being selfish by wanting to slice the data in Maricopa County only, but that is our bellwether, and that's the tipping point that I like to follow the most. For the month of July, we had 9133 total sold units, and our absorption rate was a crazy 129%, but that's down from over 250% at one time. Now, in the active listings at 5,570 in Maricopa County, inside of Maricopa County, we have a unique number, 666, coming soon. This was again on August 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a significant additional percent of inventory coming to our market. And I know personally, one person saw a home coming soon on Friday. It went active on Saturday with an open house, and it was under contract that night. Even if you do coming soon for a day, please, if you've got an active buyer, please study that status of coming soon. It's imperative. Interest rates 2.75 to 3.25. That's very accurate. Right now, interest rates are pre-pandemic low. If you've got a credit score of, say, under 750, 760, I'm pretty comfortable your lender is going to help you get a 3% mortgage today. Our average sale price, $499,688. 688. Ladies and gentlemen, that's down ever so slightly. We were at 504 this time last month. So sale prices are down. What caused that? Overall, our prices are still going up. They are. The multi-million-dollar home buyer as a percent has slowed. If you can afford a multi-million-dollar house, chances are you're not in Phoenix buying a house this month compared to the winter and early spring. That may have had an effect of why our sale price actually went down for the first time from 504 down to 499. Sarah, let's keep going. That's the fast facts. Next slide, please. Here we go. I wanted to illustrate this, ladies and gentlemen, from a numeric standpoint, just in case there's people out there that the graph doesn't mean as much. What I'm trying to do here for you, ladies and gentlemen, is look at the total actives in ARMLS. That's the 7,081. That doesn't matter where you are, where this property is listed, location-wise. It's in our MLS for exposure. We're at 7,081. Total actives, 5,570. We've got a different graph for that, but that was what was on the first. Single family is always the bellwether for me, 4,426. And for the 2 million people in our metro, the fact that, the 5 million people in our metro area, total townhomes only 446, condos 413. under contract with backup 3,089, coming soon 666, pending. Note the pending and the actives. That's probably the two lines I would connect. We had actives at 5570 and all the properties. Holds 90, 90.
You are kind of breaking.
Yeah, somebody had music on there. I don't know who it was.
Okay.
And total sold in Maricopa County 7621, and total single family. Coming from Sarah. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. Let's spend a little time here. This is sold price breakdown. And ladies and gentlemen, the graph tells part of our story here. Let's see, 1 to 3. Let's run down the left-hand column in the bottom half of the graph. And if you just look at your seller and or your buyer, where are they at? Now this is run on the 1st. So when you look at month to date and it shows all zeros, that's because this was Sunday the 1st and nothing recorded. But when you look at the quarter, that's what was happening for the quarter and the year. What I'd really like you to do is go far right on the bottom right of this graph and notice how homes 100 to 200, 200 to 300 are down. That's because they've been priced up into the next level of the market. And when you get to 700 to a million to 3, and 3 million, notice in the last year, they're up over 100%. And $300 million houses, I'm sorry, $3 million houses, they're up 198% from a year ago. Like that is a huge shift in our market. And prices continue to go up. This slide is designed to illustrate that. Sarah? Okay, this is a different graph for us here.
Yes.
We got music keep popping in here. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Okay. So what I wanted to illustrate here for you, ladies and gentlemen, in the green bar is a month of supply by the price point. And if you go to the far right at $3 million, we still have just six months of inventory at 3 million and above. That we have less than 2 months and closer to 2 weeks of inventory between $200,000 and $600,000. Very low inventory. That's that visual graph. If you wanted to share that with your buyer seller, that's an effective way to do that. Next slide, please. So I wanted to tell the story of what's happened last month versus this month. So last month, we were excited that we had 4,306 listings active because, ladies and gentlemen, in March of this year, that went under 3,000. So to have 4,000 doors to go check out versus under 3 is a big deal. We've climbed another 1,200 doors to 5,554. That was on Sunday of this past week. I got a different graph that will illustrate that a little bit tighter. Go ahead, Sarah. So here we are on the 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 1st of July, and I'm just using it as a bellwether to help you tell the story. We were still very much ascending on the median and average sale price, the blue and the red dot graph at the beginning of July of last month. And if you look on the graph on the right, which is showing that in a vertical graph, we were still climbing. But if we go to the next slide, I hope I did this right for us, Sarah. Here was our absorption rate of 174%. Next slide. Here we are on August 1st at 5,554. And the next slide. Here's what's happened to the median and average sale price. For the first time in a long time, for 6 months essentially, the sold to list ratio, average and median sale prices, it has flattened or plateaued, or the best word I have found is leveling. We're still over 100% of active sale price. We're still over 100%, but we're not 103. And that's part of the leveling. And then with that, we're down to 129%, not 174% absorption rate. Next slide, Sarah. So what we have here is all of Maricopa County. And so just imagine hovering over that county and nowhere else. We don't have anything in the White Mountains, nothing in Pinell. Our active listings, look at that first number in blue, 16% down. Why is that number so low? Well, we're now going back a full year when inventory was starting to track down. A year ago this time, we had 6,600 doors, and we're like, oh, I hope we never go to 5,000. We went piercing through 5,000 all the way down to 2,900 at our low point, and we're starting to spring back. The biggest number on this graph for me is in yellow, and it shows all of Maricopa County, the median sales price per square foot aggregated together, all of Maricopa County, not Pinell, not any place else, 32.6% increase in the last 12 months. Oh my. Knowing that over the last 180 years, the average is 2%, what a year we have had in real estate. Next slide, Sarah. Wanted to illustrate this for us here. Please note this, I have more arrows on this graph than I've ever had. Okay, we have active listings in blue at 5554. We've seen that number a couple times, but in the top left, I have 4 arrows. And what I'm trying to illustrate for you there, ladies and gentlemen, right below the phrase active listings, you're going to see 29.55%. And that is comparing where it was a month ago. 1 month prior is what PR stands for. 1 month prior, our at 5554, we're up 29% of our listings. To the next slide, or the next, not slide, next little arrow over, 4172, back up. 4172, 3 months ago, our inventory is up 41% compared to 3 months ago. It's up 39% 6 months ago. Compared to a year ago, it's down 16%. And so if you had to illustrate a conversation with your buyer, and then sometimes your seller, you're seeing a very small number, 5554, to service the huge population we have in Maricopa County, but it's climbing. That's the message. What's the trend? It's climbing. Our under contract is essentially the same, and our solds are down, but they're not down 40%, or like the other one is up 40% or 29%. It's modest. We're still getting business done, just in a less traditional way. New listings at 9220. Now, 9,220 is the biggest we've had in a long time, and it's up 29% from 6 months ago. If you look at new listings at 9,220 and go over to the top right, sold 7187, you're seeing that we're adding more new listings than we're selling, and we're climbing out of the lowest point of our inventory that we've ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom far left, there's 3 more arrows, July, June, and May. And the letters MOS stands for month of supply, and STL stands for sale to list price. And so just come down the column, for instance, of 300 to 500. Our month of supply, all of Maricopa County, is 56 or 5.6 months. And our sale to list is 103. But please know, when you go down to June in that same column, we were at 109. And you're starting to see that arc come down. And same thing would happen if you go over to 100 to 200,000. If you go to June of that year, this year, we're at 100.2%. And look at that, we're below 100% at 1 to 200,000 at 99.2. So that is looking at the trend per price point that's getting us these numbers. When you're working with a client that falls in that category, what a gift to know, hey, they're still selling at 103%. No, this one's selling at 99%. It's invaluable to help guide and coach your client. Next slide, please. Here is just a visual on actives. So please note here, I'm down in the bottom in the gray. I'm looking at the average dollars per square foot. Go to 365 days ago, we were at 251.86. 6 months later, we're at 285. Then 90 days ago, 307. 30 days ago, 305. Oh, look, we're at 299. Just note the trend. And so then when you go up and look at the graph with the black and the orange line, you're seeing that flattening. You're seeing just a little bit of a downtrend. And the green bar is illustrating how the active listings are climbing. It's easy to see with this graph that March of this year was our lowest point of inventory, sub 3,000 at our lowest point. Boy, we're throwing a party at almost 6,000 doors now. How fun is that? Next slide.
6,000. That is super exciting, Scott.
So we just illustrated $299 a square foot was the list price. When you go to average, this is under contract price. Please know the red and the black graph are showing the leveling again, but also note that the average dollar per square foot under contract is at $255 and median is $237. There's a gap between list and sold. Please know that. Next one, please. This is that same graph at sold. The average right now is $254 a square foot, while we're listing at an average of $299. That's the message I want to share with everybody. If you just look at the active price and the solds, and you look at these graphs, all you see is ascending. If you go back one slide for me, Sarah, notice the arc and the flattening ever so slightly. That's reality happening. The next slide again, go forward. If you just stop and look at sold, you're like, oh, we're still ascending. So this is a great example of liars use statistics and statistics don't lie. That number arcing down under contract will show up this time next month. Good with that? Let's keep going, Sarah. I pulled this graph out for a little bit of history and to give perspective, just in case you're working with a buyer or you're working with a seller and they're like, my neighbor got this 4 months ago, I want that too. Well, this is on the green arrows on the left, the year 2021 versus 2020. And what I'm really wanting everybody to look at is supply. Today we have 55, 54, that number keeps showing up, but you can see on the first of the month, the low point here was in March at 3,021. I guarantee you that went under 3,000 because I saw it several days. As you slide over to the green arrows on the middle right of the page, today what it's saying is, ladies and gentlemen, we have 0.77 months of supply across the board. Oh my, we're almost to a month of supply. I'm being ridiculous and massively sarcastic as I can be. But in the spirit of a yippee skippy dance, if you've got 0.37 months like of inventory in March versus 0.7 today, that's exciting to be a buyer's agent, and it's more competitive when you're a listings agent from that perspective. Next slide, please. So what I did here is the same kind of concept graph, but I also wanted to break it down into the range of dollars or sale price dollars. So again, July of 2021 versus July of 20, the green arrows in the middle right of the page. If you're saying to yourself, hey, I've got a buyer who's trying to find a home between 200,000 and 300,000, please know today there's 0.54 months of supply. And if we go down to 3 million above, we're at 5.87 months, just about 6 months. 6 months is somewhat of a balanced market. Holy cow. Now, 5.54, 2 weeks of inventory is hard, but a year ago we had 0.36 and 0.63 and that same price point, 200 to 300 and 300 to 500. And we had a whopping 9 months of supply at 3 million a year ago. Sarah, I sure hope this is hitting home for some of your people. Okay, so I ran that graph and showed the arc down on August 1st, and I ran this same graph yesterday, right before I fired this slide deck over to you, just in case there was a trend tighter. And ladies and gentlemen, that flattening is now we're coming closer to 100, just over 101% for the average sale price. The actual list price of a home appears to be getting close to a level that you might be able to get the house at asking without having to do an escalation. Just provide a great contract, clean and neat, and sometimes you're just winning. Sarah? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have about 25 slides left, but I pulled out 3 cities, and we're going to take a deeper dive on those 3 cities. And then please know, due to time and messaging, I have alphabetized a graph like this for a Apache Junction. We included Cave Creek Carefree this month, Litchfield Park and others. So the big points that are noteworthy on here are right now the blue and the yellow circles. So our active listings for Phoenix are down only 0.8% than they were a year ago. We were already at a very low inventory this month a year ago after we were just ending or just getting into the middle of the pandemic. So that's not a big twist, for 2 million people, the fact that we have 1,500 doors to support them. Wow, that's very low inventory. And what's happened in that year's period of time is Phoenix has gone up 32% on the nose, average sale price across the board. We're going to take 2 more slides on Phoenix and 2 other cities, and then we'll have that alphabetized graph for the rest of the cities out there. So here we are with Phoenix. Active listings at 1,594 or 1,549. Please know right underneath that in green, we're up 29% in our inventory in the last 30 days and 42% from its low just 3 months ago. Sold listings 1,942, and then I want to compare that right away with new listings. We climbed basically 500 doors in 30 days in the city of Phoenix. That's significant, ladies and gentlemen. That is just significant. Please know in green on the circle dial, the flip properties at 9.84%. So just about 10% of all the homes in Phoenix are being flipped. They're being updated, renovated from an appliance, carpet, paint package to sometimes we're taking homes down to the studs and adding square feet. All that aggregated together, they're flipping just under 10% in Metro Phoenix. Sarah? Here's Chandler. So Chandler's listings are not down 0.8%, they're down 23%. Chandler, and I'm going to give credit to Intel and putting this big plant down there and how well the Cardinals are doing. There's just a lot of energy in that area. There's a great downtown in Gilbert and Chandler. It's a very desirable place to be. And as a result, home prices in yellow are up 33.5%. Holy cow. Next slide. This is Chandler itself. Active listings are just 256. We sold 328. That is, I don't know, 150, 60% absorption rate. Our new listings in Chandler at 592. And again, that's up about 165 doors from sold at 428. I hope these numbers are landing for everybody. Just right on the new listings, those 4 quadrants, 18, 12, 29, and 5%. We're climbing out. If we start to climb out, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of active listings, the people who really do want to sell, because I need a bigger house for an expanding family, or I do need that, I need to downsize. If there's just more homes to choose from, and the mindset of the buyer and seller is like, oh, we've seen the bottom and we're starting to climb out. Now I really may be ready to list and sell my house and go find the next house. And all of a sudden that snowballs. And ladies and gentlemen, our market, we could easily handle 25,000 active listings and as many as 36,000 active listings and just be fine. For the metro we have, 25 to 35,000 homes active is a normal market. Sarah? I did this for the city of Scottsdale. Scottsdale's down 43%. In yellow, the median sale price is up 32.5%. That's one of our more affluent zip codes, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that it's up 32% speaks to the demand of Scottsdale being a very international city and restaurants and all the lifestyle that comes with it. When you look at PV Mall coming down on Cactus and Tatum, and it's going to become more of a Kierland style place. I'm hearing there's some growth like that in Mesa. Clearly, Gilbert has created a mirror image of that. They're creating a lifestyle in those quadrants of our metro, Maricopa County, and home prices are going up as a result of that. Sarah? Here we go in Scottsdale proper. So our active listings, 796, our sold 791. Again, we're about 100 doors more in new listings in Scottsdale than we have sold at 791. There's a grip that is loosening a little bit. Sarah? Okay, this is from GPEC, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just trying to give you some texture quickly as we wrap up. I don't know what the conversation looks like when you're talking to your buyers and sellers, but when business is talking from Metro Phoenix, from Phoenix GPAC, and talking about attracting new businesses to our marketplace, these are the conversation points that they're talking about. The livability of our metro, our support network with first responders, and the way Scottsdale started their fire code and how we look at buildings is a big deal. The industry alignment. We are becoming a tech center in the next 20 years, huge tech center with electric cars and battery centers and things like that. There's a workforce ecosystem that they're complementary, just like Silicon Valley was 20 years ago. And it's competitive operating costs, right? And these are the conversation pieces that are happening between GPEC and the companies that they're attracting. And I'm not saying these exact words transpire over to your buyer and seller clients, but this is what business thinks about. And when they think about this, they're trying to attract a labor force to come and work at their factories. And so the far left graph has all the atomic level words below that, but I wanted everybody to see as visually as we could the livability support network piece. So I cropped that and posted that there. Sarah? Then last but not least, this is again from GPEC. This is some of how they look at our market and things that they're committed to. Next slide, Sarah. I think we're going to start into the alphabet. Here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, we're at the 30-minute mark, but the balance of this report in alphabet order, with exception of pulling out Chandler, Scottsdale, and Phoenix, is just running through these cities. And I added Carefree Cave Creek for the first time here. Fountain Hills is in there. Just wanted to give perspective of what's happening in these various markets. Please know this tool will drill down into the specific zip code, i.e. Phoenix that has 15 or so zip codes. We can look at the same report by zip code and just give you atomic level detail what's happening in your metro. Sarah, those are the big rocks. It's always a pleasure to be on with you and the audience. Hopefully this information is helpful and supportive in guiding your buyer and seller clients. And it's always a pleasure.
It absolutely is, Scott. And all of those slides and information, they are available after the webinar. Reach out to your business development manager. A full copy of our slide deck is available as well. Any of those cities that you see, or even any zip codes that you want specifics on, reach out to us at Landmark Title. We can get those for you. And even better, we can brand them so you can share them with your clients, which is always amazing. Like we say, you want to be the real estate agent in the know for your clients. You are the expert when it comes to the housing market here in the Phoenix area. So use all of these tools that you have available to you. And thank you, Scott, for coming on today and giving us, once again, just a great breakdown of what's really going on. Knowledge is power when it comes to our industry. I mean, to everything, but particularly our industry. You want to be the agent that's set apart from all of the other ones out there right now.
Sarah, always a pleasure. Thanks for your team doing a great job as always. Your ESCO officers doing a great job as always. And we'll be back next month with an update.
Absolutely, Scott. Thank you so much. And yes, like I said, if you want a copy of these slides, just let us know. If you guys have any questions, I mean, I think Scott just did an amazing job covering everything today. But if you want to throw them in there, if you've got any, let us know. And as always, and if you have any questions throughout the month as well, Scott is one of our partners. We can easily get in touch with him. So even if you think of something after one of our webinars that you would like to ask, reach out anytime during the month. It doesn't only have to be during our monthly webinar. We're available to help anytime with any questions you have on the market. And as always, thank you to our business development management team. Please reach out to them for any of your marketing needs. Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Zach, Patty, Michael, and Jessica, they are here to help you grow your business. And as always, Thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you market insights every month where we get to really dive in and take an in-depth look. You can get these numbers from anywhere. You can attend any webinar or, Cromford Report or anything, but we thank you for being here with us on Market Insights every month. And please think of Landmark Title on your next contract, whether you're on the listing side or the buying side. We'd love to help get you through this. So wherever you are, there is a Landmark Title office to help you. And that's us for us today. Scott, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good week out there.